The world does not care about your dreams. It does not care about the pictures in your mind or the desperate hopes you replay before you sleep. It does not care about the tears you hide from others or the excuses you whisper to yourself. The world is merciless. It rewards strength. It kneels before power, and it crushes the weak with no hesitation. This is the first truth you must accept. Most people never will. They spend their lives believing in fairness, in compassion, in some invisible force that will reward their goodness. They cling to illusions because reality is unbearable to them. They want to be comforted, not awakened. But here is the reality. You have only two choices. Remain a servant to fear, to comfort, to mediocrity. Or rise as something greater. Not a man who blends into the crowd, not a servant of other people's expectations, but a force that bends the world to his will. Weakness is not harmless. Weakness is a disease. It eats away at respect, corrupts loyalty, and erases fear. And if you have none of these three, you are nothing. Respect, loyalty, and fear. These are the currencies of rulers. They buy silence, obedience, and survival. But they are expensive, and they are not handed out freely. They are taken. Most men will never touch these currencies. Why? Because they were trained to avoid them. They were trained to beg for approval instead of demanding respect, to smile when disrespected, to bow when ignored, to ask, "Am I good enough?" rather than to command, "I will have this." You were not born to shuffle quietly through life, begging for scraps of validation. You were not born to wait endlessly for permission. Inside you burns the same fire that built empires, toppled dynasties, and bent entire nations into silence. But that fire has been buried under comfort, fear, and years of self-betrayal. The question is not whether you have the fire. The question is whether you will uncover it or die smothered beneath your own weakness. This is where the path begins. This is the fundamental choice. Will you rise or remain a slave? Destroying the inner slave. Before you can rule anything in this world, you must destroy the weakling living inside you. You know him well. He is the soft voice inside your skull that whispers, "Stay safe. Don't cause conflict. Don't offend anyone. Please them, and maybe they will accept you." That voice is not your ally. That voice is your executioner. From the very beginning of your life, invisible chains were tightened around your body and mind. Guilt, fear, approval. These were given to you as if they were gifts, but they were traps. From childhood, you were trained to obey, to apologize, to ask before acting. You were told to smile when you didn't want to sit quietly, to wait your turn, to shrink yourself into invisibility. And so you grew into a servant. You learned to bow to other people's opinions, to explain yourself to those who had no right to question you, to soften your words so that no one would be offended. You thought this made you safe. In truth, it made you forgettable. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Obedience is the enemy of power. When you live for approval, you live as a prisoner. The man who spends his life chasing validation is a dog chasing a master's hand. No matter how fast he runs, he will always be leashed. A lion does not ask sheep for permission to hunt. A lion does not explain himself. He acts. He takes. He is feared because his nature cannot be negotiated. So kill the slave, and kill him with action, not words. Refuse to explain yourself. Refuse to beg. Step into silence and let them choke on it. Let them call you cold, ruthless, dangerous. If no one calls you these things, you have never stood for anything. Greatness requires enemies. If you live in a world where no one resents you, you have never threatened the order of mediocrity. You are invisible. The slave dies when you finally stop bowing, stop apologizing, stop asking for permission to live as you choose. That death will be painful, but necessary, because until you kill him, you cannot build the man who was meant to replace him. Forging iron will and discipline. Once the slave is dead, the real war begins, because it is not enough to kill the weakness inside you. You must replace it with something unbreakable. Without will, you are a reed in the wind, bent, twisted, and broken by every storm. With will, you become iron, and iron bends for no one. Understand this: the God within you is forged through discipline, relentless discipline, not occasional bursts of effort, not fleeting motivation, but daily command over yourself, a discipline that terrifies the soft, the distracted, the weak. Your will must become your sword, sharpened each day without exception. Wake when you say you will, not when you feel like it. Work when you are exhausted, not when you are comfortable. Finish what you start, even when your body and mind beg you to quit. Weak men negotiate with themselves. They beg for one more minute, one more comfort, one more delay. Strong men issue commands and obey without hesitation. Control your body first. Force it to do what you hate until it becomes second nature. The man who cannot command his body will never command his future. Then control your emotions. Rage, panic, jealousy, these are the tools of the herd. These are chains that bind you to mediocrity. Cut them, burn them, replace them with calm calculation. Discipline is not restriction. Discipline is liberation. Every act of chosen discomfort is a deposit into your future power. Every denial of weakness is a declaration that you will not kneel. Do not confuse discipline with motivation. Motivation is for amateurs. It is a fleeting spark that dies when the air grows cold. Discipline is for rulers. It is the furnace that burns day after day, forging you into something the world cannot break. The slave you once were sought pleasure. The ruler you are becoming seeks only control. Control of body, control of mind, control of destiny. Every scar you earn in this battle becomes encryption. Each one hardens your protocols so the same blade cannot cut you twice. Pain is no longer punishment. It is programming. And once you are programmed by it, you are no longer vulnerable to it. So suffer strategically. Choose pain deliberately. Because when you suffer for purpose, you become untouchable. This is only the first stage of your transformation. You have faced the world's indifference. You have begun killing the slave within. You have taken the first steps toward forging iron will. But this is only the foundation. Ahead lies the art of strategy, the aura of presence, the sovereignty of self-mastery. These will separate you from the herd forever. The choice remains: stay a reed or become iron. Developing the strategic mind. Most people think horizontally. They see only what is in front of them, the distraction, the moment, the next impulse. They move in straight lines toward whatever is shiny. They never look above. You must think vertically. Rise above the noise. See the battlefield from the tower. Watch how the pieces move, where the pawns gather, where the kings hide. Understand that human nature does not change. Only the costumes do. The same greed, fear, and vanity that ruled ancient men rule modern men in tailored suits. While others are drunk on distraction, you must stay sober. While they chase trends, you must stand still and watch them exhaust themselves. When the herd runs in one direction, step aside and ask why. Build your mind with intention. Read rulers, generals, thinkers. Study human behavior as if your life depends on it, because it does. Learn leverage. Learn timing. Learn how hunger drives decisions. And most of all, learn to question yourself. Ruthless honesty is the rarest skill. Do not flatter yourself. Do not let pride blind you. Where are you weak? Where do you betray yourself? Where are you still chained by comfort? Face it with precision, or it will destroy you in silence. Think like a chess master. Everyone else is a reactive pawn. This is the difference between the strong who are used and the strong who rule. Commanding presence and power. But strategy alone is invisible unless it is felt. Strength and intellect are worthless if no one can sense them. The world does not read your mind. It reads your presence. Appearances matter as much as reality. If you seem weak, you are weak. If you look uncertain, you invite domination. So your presence must speak before your mouth opens. When you enter a room, heads should turn, not because you are loud, but because everything about you says, this man does not bow. Authority is not noise. Authority is weight. It is the silence that makes others stumble over their words. It is the calm that makes the restless feel small. Speak less. Let every word strike like steel. Do not rush to fill silence. Let others drown in it. Move slowly, gesture deliberately, hold steady eye contact until they look away. These are not small habits, they are weapons. Your words must be sharp. Speak in statements, not questions. Do not explain endlessly. Mystery multiplies power. The less they know, the more they project. Dress, speak, and act with intention. Do not decorate yourself for approval. Shape yourself for command. Understand this truth. True power is quiet, calm, and certain. Rage is weakness disguised as strength. Panic is surrender disguised as urgency. Confidence that requires shouting is not confidence. It is begging. If you must choose, be feared first. Respect will follow. When people feel your presence, they should adjust themselves instinctively without knowing why. That is power. Self-mastery and sovereignty. But here lies the final test. A man who cannot rule himself is unworthy of ruling anything. If you want command over others, you must first command yourself completely. Self-mastery so complete that power over others becomes a natural consequence. When you command yourself, the world aligns to your rhythm. People follow not because you plead, but because your strength leaves no space for alternatives. But understand, with power comes danger. Envy rises when you rise. Betrayal lurks behind loyalty. People will smile at you while sharpening their knives. This is inevitable. So you must remain sharp and unpredictable. Never let anyone map your moves. If they cannot predict you, they cannot trap you. Real power needs no applause. A lion does not wait for compliments on his roar. He knows his presence is enough. So too must you act. Seek no validation. Accept no cheap praise. The man addicted to applause is still a slave. Fear is more reliable than love, but pure fear corrodes. So temper fear with respect. Show your power sparingly, like a blade drawn only when necessary. A sword that is always swinging dulls quickly. A sword that is rarely drawn terrifies more than one soaked in blood. Self-rule means absolute authority over your appetites. Control your time. Control your desires. Control your impulses. When you can delay gratification, endure solitude, and hold your tongue when you wish to explode, you are sovereign. This is the state of the ruler. He bends not for moods, not for distractions, not for weakness. His foundation is immovable. And when a man like this walks among others, he does not need to command. The command is felt. You have killed the slave within. You have begun forging iron out of weakness. You have sharpened your mind into strategy, built an aura that commands silence, and mastered yourself until no desire rules you. But greatness is not a single victory. Greatness is not a mood you feel when things go well. Greatness is not recognition or applause. Greatness is identity. The strongest version of you is not reached when you have one extraordinary day. It is reached when your ordinary days are extraordinary compared to everyone else's best. This is what I call the GOAT formula, the making of the greatest of all time. The GOAT formula. The GOAT is not a trophy. It is not a hashtag or a label given by others. It is a standard you carve into yourself, a standard that demands blood, patience, and calculation. 4 pillars uphold it: grit, order, aura, tactics. Grit is not random suffering, it is strategic suffering. Choosing discomfort that builds, not discomfort that destroys. Running toward pain on purpose, so that you become immune to it when others collapse. Every moment you choose difficulty, you are building calluses on your soul. Order is the system that protects your empire. The weak drown in chaos, the strong design structure, a weekly cadence that protects the vital few and eliminates the noisy many. Systems that remove hesitation, automate discipline, and strip away excuses. Aura is the felt signal of power. Not words, not promises, but presence. You practice stillness. You remove nervous habits. You master breathing until even silence bends to you. Aura is the field others sense when you walk into a room, when you say nothing yet force everyone to rearrange themselves. Tactics are how you arrange the board. Leverage, timing, negotiation. Understanding human hunger so deeply that you always hold the advantage. The goat knows not only how to fight, but when not to. He chooses battles that matter and lets the rest consume themselves. Fuse these four, and your baseline rises higher than most men's peak. That is when you stop trying to reach greatness and start embodying it. Daily systems and rituals. But formulas are nothing without rituals. What you do daily becomes what you are permanently. So your life must be shaped by non-negotiable rights. 3 priorities only: 1 block of deep work for your craft, 1 block for your strength, and 1 block for strategy. Nothing more. Noise is the enemy. Guard your sleep as a fortress. Eat as a warrior. Keep your tools minimal so nothing owns you. Before you speak, take 10 silent breaths. Before you touch a screen, write 1 page of truth. The first decision of your day must be cold, clean, and absolute. Do not negotiate with mornings. The first hour is treasure. Guard it. Each day, secure 1 small win. Each week, audit yourself without mercy. Truth versus excuse. Each month, kill 1 habit that chains you. Each quarter, face a challenge that exposes your new ceiling. Each year, wage a campaign that transforms your identity beyond recognition. This is how you program yourself into inevitability. Not in bursts, not in moods, but in systems carved into time itself. Critical mindset shifts. And yet, none of this endures unless you shift the way you think. Because the wrong mind chained to the right systems still collapses. Stop asking, "Am I allowed?" You decide. Stop wondering, "Will they like me?" You do not care. Sheep live by permission. Lions live by law. Their own. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is respect wearing a mask. If they fear you, they respect you. If they ignore you, you are nothing. Detach from the herd. Detachment is power. While others are blinded by noise, you see with clarity. You owe no softness to those who worship your old weakness. Choose solitude over noise, structure over thrill, precision over pride, action over alibis. When storms come, ask only, "What is the move?" And then make it. Greatness is not a mood you wait for. It is a contract you sign in blood and honor every day. So what must you do? Begin here. Choose 1 weakness and destroy it today. Choose 1 discipline and master it this week. Choose 1 goal and pursue it without mercy until it is yours. Track every session. Treat your data like a blade. Keep your circle narrow and your standards taller than those around you can reach. If someone complicates what you are simplifying, release them. Build streaks like bridges over doubt. Treat each week as a campaign with a single objective. Each morning, ask yourself, what is the 1 move that wins this day? Each evening, write 3 lines. What did I keep? What did I kill? What did I learn? Make every day a verdict. You either ruled yourself or you didn't. And now we arrive at the final truth, the one that divides men forever. Respect is not asked for. It is not begged for. It is not requested politely. Respect is enforced. You do not wait for it. You do not hope for it. You impose it by strength, by presence, by self-mastery so undeniable that others have no choice but to yield. And when you enforce it, you do not explain yourself. You do not apologize. You do not justify. You let silence do the work. You let their unease remind them. You let your aura bend them before a word leaves your mouth. This is the greatest version of yourself. Not a dreamer, not a beggar, not a man waiting for luck. A sovereign force, a presence, a ruler. And when you reach this point, you will no longer ask, will they respect me? You will know, because they already do.